Now more than 30 years old, Toy Story stands as a titan of the film world, with arguably one of the best trilogies of all time. Now the fifth one's come out, so why not rank them to find out once and for all which one is the best? Number 5. Toy Story 2. In the sequel to the smash hit, Woody and Buzz return with a story that introduced us to Jessie, Bullseye, and Stinky Pete. Toy Story 2 sees Woody get stolen by a toy collector and toy shop owner Al, as he looks to sell Woody's Roundup gang to a Japanese museum. This time round the message seems to be one of inclusion, branching off of the lesson Woody learnt in the first film. Wheezy is the first toy Woody sticks his neck out for, rescuing him from the yard sale, and then later on he does the same with Jessie and Bullseye, saving them from a lonely existence in a museum. This is a toy that has fundamentally changed since our first meeting with him, becoming more selfless and compassionate. In turn, this feeling of family grows, as Buzz and a handful of other toys also go to rescue Woody from Al, making for an interesting side plot as we see Buzz come across another version of himself, as well as Zurg. Despite all the moral lessons though, and interesting story beats, Toy Story 2 is my least favourite when compared to the other ones. Although the film's succinct, I feel it lacks a real villain, and comes across as a bit cobbled together at times. Don't get me wrong, there are great moments, like Jessie's "When She Loved Me" flashback, but I feel like we should have spent more time with those characters, to care about them more. Number 4. Toy Story 5. The latest entry in the franchise ends Woody's reign as the centre of the story, and now refocuses on Jessie and her relationship with Bonnie. This time the story looks at the dominance of technology, as a frog-shaped tablet called Lilypad enters Bonnie's life and takes her attention away from our familiar gang of toys. The message seems to be one of adaptation. The film starts off quite stubbornly thinking that toys are morally superior to tech, which in Jessie's eyes is corrupting the world. However, from there it opens up and sees the complexity of tech and how it can be used for good as well. By looking at both the darker and lighter side of technology, Toy Story 5 really gives a detailed picture of modern tech in people's lives. We see it being used as a weapon for bullying, but also as a tool for communicating with like-minded souls. Although it's a shame Pixar feels it has to produce another Toy Story to make more money, I do see the value in making a film that responds to our current climate. Our childhoods are so special, and making a story that comments on how early children are being affected by iPads and smartphones, whilst also seeing the value in modern tools, is a really unique thing in today's hyper-aware, action-filled, fourth wall-breaking cinema landscape. It's nice to have a dramatic adventure that feels pure and heartwarming. Now, if I'm being honest, this Toy Story did feel very childish for my taste, but I am 23 now, and not the target demographic of this kind of film. So who am I to judge? Am I glad it exists? Yes. It feels hopeful, and on the whole I liked it, especially the Taylor Swift song, instant banger. Number 3. Toy Story 4. In 4, we see what happens to Woody when he goes from being Andy's favourite to just another toy to Bonnie. So when she makes a toy from scratch at school, Woody has to learn his place as he hands the reins over to Forky on a family road trip. The lesson of Toy Story 4 seems to be about being humble and learning to let others take the spotlight. That's what Woody has to do in order to let Forky become the central toy, convincing him that he's not rubbish and is special through the eyes of Bonnie. This idea of self-sacrifice is hammered in with the character of Gabby Gabby. She's a baby doll without a voice box who Woody and Forky meet in an antique store, and by the end gets her pull string voice back thanks to Woody. Although Toy Story 4 isn't the strongest film, and chucks aside a lot of the original characters in order to follow Woody, it's still a good time and has a sweet emotional core to it. Would I return to it? Yes, and not just for Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom. Number 2. Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 sees the toys face an uncertain fate as Andy goes off to university and has to make a decision on what to do with them. In the midst of this decision, they all get moved to Sunnyside Daycare, which is under the control of Lotso. In my eyes, the takeaway from 3 is the importance of family. We really get this sense of community between our ragtag group of toys that helps get them through the film and makes for a nice child-friendly take on the prison escape film, as the toys have to escape from Sunnyside. I'm not the first person to say that the emotions of Toy Story 3 run high, as we see the near death of all the characters and then the famous goodbye as Andy donates his toys to Bonnie, playing with them one final time. It's a real bittersweet end to the film and a nice cap off to the trilogy, despite the fact they've now made 2 more. Number 1. Toy Story. In the first one we see perhaps the best story of the trilogy, mostly for its simplicity. We're introduced to the world of the toys that live a secret life when their owner leaves the room. In this case we follow Andy and his ragtag group of toys from a dinosaur to Mr. Potato Head. But trouble starts brewing when a new breed of toy enters Andy's room, upsetting Sheriff Woody's equilibrium. As Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear starts to become Andy's new favourite, he and Woody suddenly get lost and have to try and make their way back to Andy's room. The message seems to be one of acceptance in this film, accepting the new with the old and meeting in the middle for a happy medium. That's the key for a happy friendship and is the example set by Buzz and Woody as they learn to get on with each other. There's a lovely cross-section of emotions and mix of genres in the first instalment, as we get an adventure story that dabbles in comedy, drama, and even a touch of horror near the end. I can easily see myself returning to this classic of modern cinema, as it remains quotable and fun even to this day, so makes it to my top spot. Thanks for watching, I've been Never Hold Back, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!